talk to you. Did you find our office okay? Good, okay, I'm glad. Would you like a glass of water, or is there anything I can get you to make you more comfortable? No? Okay. Well, if you think of anything, just let me know. This is going to take a little good chunk of time, so I don't want you feeling uncomfortable at any point. If you need to use the restroom, or if you'd like a glass of water or need a blanket, just let me know. Okay? Great. Do you know why you're here today? Right. So your doctor thought it was a good idea for us to run through some sort of questionnaires to get a little bit of more insight into how you're feeling. Okay. All right. If you have any questions or need me to repeat the directions at any point in time, even in the middle of a test, that's perfectly fine and normal. You can just let me know. If I'm speaking and you need to interrupt and don't feel comfortable, you can raise your hand slightly, and if that's a little bit easier than interjecting, I know not everyone likes to speak up sometimes, so yeah. Okay, great. Is there anything else I should know before we get started? Okay. I understand. Well, there's nothing to worry about. You have every right to leave whenever you want. If things are getting too intense, you can tell me. I'm very open to accommodating whatever your needs are. So it's okay to be anxious, but I do hope that that will subside in time. Okay. And again, my name is Elo. If you do need anything and or want to call me by my name, that's perfectly fine as well. Okay. Ready to get started? Okay, great. So let's see, I have a few different tests that we're going to work through. The first one, we're just going to gauge how you're feeling right now as a sort of baseline. Okay? So when answering these questions, think about how you feel right now in this moment. It does not in any way take away from moments where you might feel these things. This is just a gauge of this present moment, and there will be plenty of other questions to express your regular habits. Okay? So we have 4 answer choices here. It's sort of like a scale. Okay? So the first one is not at all. The second one is a little. The third one is rather. And the fourth one is very much. Okay? So not at all, a little, rather, or very much. And I'm just going to ask you if you feel a list of things, and you can answer with one of those 4. Okay? Does that make sense? Okay, good. So at the moment, do you feel tired? A little, okay. How about relaxed? A little, okay. Willing to perform? Not at all, okay. That's totally fine. Sleepy? A little. How about nervous? Rather. Hopefully we can bring that down some. Are you feeling bored? Not at all? Okay. How about restless? Rather. Okay. How about depressed? Very much. Okay. Downhearted? So maybe rather. Okay. And this is going to seem contrary, but how about cheerful? A little. It's definitely possible to feel a couple of these things simultaneously. Indifferent? Not at some of them not so much. How about energetic? Not at all. Okay. Willing to show effort? I would say very much, especially since you are not feeling like performing right now. Okay, I do appreciate your input and your effort, so thank you. In a good mood? A little? Okay. Are you feeling fresh, like clean? Rather? Okay. And how about calm? A little? Okay. Alright, great. So that was again just to gauge how you're feeling in this moment. And we're going to move into a little bit more complex questions now, okay? Okay, great. So this next part is a personality test, okay? And in the instructions, we have a 5-point scale this time. Okay, so you're going to answer me from 1 to 5. 1 is disagree, so 1 is the bottom of the scale. The smallest numeric value is the negative side. And then 5 is agree. So the largest numeric value is going to be your positive. Okay? So number 1 would be disagree. Number 2 would be slightly disagree. Number 3 is neutral. Number 4 is slightly agree. And number 5 is agree. Okay? So we have disagree at one end, agree at the other end, neutral in the very middle at a 3, and then 2 and 4 are just slightly agree or disagree. Make sense? Okay, great. So I'm just going to run through. We have 45 different items here. It's quite a lot, I know. I do appreciate you being patient. Okay. So for number 1, on a scale of 1 to 5, how would you rate this statement about yourself? This is an assessment about how you usually feel about yourself. Okay? I am the life of the party. Okay? I feel little concern for others. Okay? I am always prepared. 4. Okay. How about I get stressed out easily? 5. I feel you on that. Okay. I have a rich vocabulary. Neutral. Okay. I don't talk a lot. All right. I am interested in people. I think they just mean sort of a general interest, not necessarily judging whether or not you like to be around people, but whether you are interested in people. Okay. I leave my belongings around. Okay. I am relaxed most of the time. 1. Okay. I have difficulty understanding abstract ideas. Neutral. Okay. I feel comfortable around people. 2. I insult people. Okay. I pay attention to details. Okay. I worry about things. 5. Me too. I have a vivid imagination. In general. 4. Okay. I keep in the background. So it would be 5 would be agree, and then slightly. Okay. I sympathize with others' feelings. Okay. I make a mess of things. I think you're free to sort of interpret that in any way that you'd like. Just do you feel like you make a mess of things? Is that a general statement you would say to describe yourself? Okay. I seldom feel blue. Okay. I am not interested in abstract ideas. Okay. I have little to say. Okay. I have a soft heart. 4. Okay. I often forget to put things back in their proper place. Okay. I get upset easily. Okay. I do not have a good imagination. Okay. I talk to a lot of different people at parties. I think that would be neutral then. Okay. I am not really interested in others. Okay. I like order. Okay. I change my mood a lot. Okay. I am quick to understand things. Okay. I don't like to draw attention to myself. Okay. I take time out for others. Okay. I shirk my duties. Meaning, do you often put aside your responsibilities and duties and instead not do them? Okay. I have frequent mood swings. Okay. I use difficult words. Okay. I don't mind being the center of attention. Okay. I feel others' emotions. Okay. I follow a schedule. I get irritated easily. Okay. I spend time reflecting on things. Okay. Great. You did a great job. That was all of our 45 questions for that one. Are you still feeling okay? Alright. Well, do let me know if that changes and you need anything. Okay? Alright. So the next one is another, I guess, similar style personality test in terms of the questions, but the answers are a little more complex. We do have A or B answers. However, they are not just agree or disagree. They're going to be actual options this time. Excuse me. I have allergies. Right. So I'm going to give you a statement, and then you're going to select either answer A or B after I say them out to you, okay? Alright. So at a party, which I know you said you don't frequently go to parties, but if you were to go to a party, I suppose, since this one does not have a neutral option, do you A, interact with many, including strangers, or B, interact with a few known to you? Okay. All For number 2, are you more A, realistic than speculative, or B, speculative than realistic? Okay. Great. For number 3, is it worse to A, have your head in the clouds, or B, be in a rut? Be in a rut, okay. Okay. Are you more impressed by A, principles, or B, emotions? Okay. All right. For number 5, are you more drawn towards the A, convincing, or B, touching? So are you more captivated by things that are convincing you of something with a fact, or are you more captivated by maybe a very touching or emotional story, whether it's a movie, a book, real life? Okay. All right. For number 6, do you prefer to work A, to deadlines, or B, just whenever? So would you like to have a set deadline for your work, or do you like to do it on your own time frame? Okay. All right. For number 7, do you tend to choose A, rather carefully, or B, somewhat impulsively? Okay. Number 8 is another party question, so just select the one that best matches what you would do or have done maybe in the past, okay? At parties, do you A, stay late with increasing energy, or B, leave early with decreased energy? Okay. Okay. For number 9, are you more attracted to A, sensible people, or B, imaginative people? Okay. For number 10, are you more interested in A, what is actual, or B, what is possible? So things that have actually happened, are those more sort of interesting to you? Facts, dates, events that have happened, cool facts that are related to maybe science or math or nature, or then what is possible, so things that you can imagine, like what the future might be like, or technological advances. Okay. I think I'm definitely the facts. Yeah. Okay, for number 11, in judging others, are you more swayed by laws than circumstances, or circumstances than laws? Exactly. Okay. All right. Number 12, in approaching others, is your inclination to be somewhat A, objective, or B, personal? If you were to. Okay. Great. Number 13, are you more A, punctual, or B, leisurely? Okay. All right. For number 14 now, does it bother you more having things A, incomplete, or B, completed? Okay. Okay. 15. In your social groups, do you A, keep abreast of others' happenings, or B, get behind on the news? Okay. Okay. Number 16. In doing ordinary things, are you more likely to A, do it the usual way, or B, do it your own way? Okay. For number 17, writers should either A, say what they mean and mean what they say, or B, express things more by use of analogy. So that would be like maybe comparing one thing to another, or using an event or something very well known to help inform the reader as to what they mean. Maybe not by being as direct. Okay. All right. Number 18, which appeals to you more? A, consistency of thought, or B, harmonious human relationships? Okay. For number 19, are you more comfortable in making A, logical judgments, or B, value judgments? It was, are you more comfortable in making logical judgments or value judgments? That's okay. Okay. All right. Great. It's perfectly okay. That one was a little confusing anyway. Okay, for number 20, do you want things A, settled and decided, or B, unsettled and undecided? Okay. For number 21, would you say that you are more A, serious and determined, or B, easygoing? Okay. And number 22, in phoning, so when you make a telephone call, do you A, rarely question that it will all be said, or B, rehearse what you'll say? Right, that first one's a little confusing, but do you get the feeling that without trying to think about it ahead of time, that you will get your message across? You'll end up saying everything you need to say. Or for B, do you rehearse what you'll say ahead of time? Okay. Excellent. For number 23, this is just an explanation of the word facts. So when you hear facts, do you think A, they speak for themselves, or B, they illustrate principles? Okay. Good job. Number 24. Are visionaries A, somewhat annoying, B, rather fascinating? Okay. All right. For number 25, are you more often A, a cool-headed person, or B, a warm-hearted person? So it was cool-headed versus warm-hearted. Yeah, you didn't hear that wrong. Okay. And for 26, is it worse to be A, unjust, or B, merciless? Okay. All right. Let me just fill out the bottom of this paperwork here. Can you spell your last name for me? Okay. Thank you. And your date of birth. Okay. All right. Next, we have a question about your personal communication style. This one is a little taxing on the brain, but I think it'll be fine. You're doing a great job so far. So we have a long list here of adjectives. And these are things that people kind of often use to describe themselves to other people. So they shouldn't be very weird words, but if you do need to know the definition of one, feel free to ask me. Okay? And I just want you to tell me which words you think describe yourself. Okay? So you can either raise your hand to indicate an answer, say yes, that one, or whatever you feel comfortable to signal me that you agree that you are whatever that word is. Okay? Does that make sense? Okay, so I'm going to run through the list of adjectives, 4 columns worth, and you just indicate to me, however makes you comfortable, that you would describe yourself with that word. Okay? All right. So our first one here is accepting, accommodating, agreeable, apologetic, okay, concerned for others, okay, considerate, okay, cooperative, dependable, dependent, easygoing. Okay. How about empathetic? Meaning you can put yourself in other people's shoes and feel sorry for their woes. Okay. Friendly, generous, loyal, people-oriented, okay, quiet, respectful, self-sacrificing, sensitive, sentimental, okay, supportive, tender-hearted, okay, understanding, unselfish, and yielding. That one essentially means like you would maybe give in to, you would yield to other people. So think like when you're merging on a highway or something and you have to yield and let other people by. Are you sort of the type of person who would stand back so that other people can do what they want to do? Or okay. All right, so that was column A. I'm going to move into column B now, if you're ready. Okay, great. So again, just if these words describe you, let me know. Are you action-oriented? Okay. How about aggressive? Ambitious? Authoritative? Okay. Commanding? Competitive? Controlling? Decisive? Okay. Demanding? Okay. Directive? Like, do you give orders? Okay. Efficient? Forceful? Headstrong? Okay. How about hurried? Right. Impatient? Independent? Okay. A leader? Opportunistic? A perfectionist? Persistent? Pioneering? Promotes action? Okay. Results oriented? Strong-willed? And finally, task oriented. Okay. All right, we have column C now. Okay. Accurate? Cautious? Contemplative? Meaning, like, do you think a lot? To contemplate is to kind of think, ponder. Okay. Conventional? Deliberate? Okay. Detail-oriented? Diplomatic? Okay. How about disciplined? Exacting? Okay. Guarded? Intellectual? Introverted? Logical? How about methodical? Okay. Meticulous? Objective? Orderly? Patient? Okay. Practical? How about precise? Okay. Rational? Okay. Reserved? As in like shy. Okay. Serious? Stuffy? And systematic. Okay. All right, still doing okay. We're in our last category now, letter D, and they're gonna continue to go in alphabetical order. Okay, so again, just let me know if these describe you to yourself in your own mind. Okay. Adventurous. Carefree. Changeable. charming, communicative, creative, okay, dramatic, okay, enthusiastic, okay, excitable, extroverted. I would say no based on your answer. Flashy, okay, humorous, okay, imaginative, impulsive, okay, inspiring, okay, intuitive, right, non-conforming, okay, outgoing, right, opinionated, okay, outspoken, playful, reactionary, okay, restless, okay, are you a risk taker? And how about talkative? Okay, excellent. You made it through that just fine. All right, we have one more test. Are you still hanging in there? Okay, good. So this last one is, I think, the easiest because it's just a yes or no. So hopefully you can wind down and not feel like you have to think so much. It can sometimes be fun, though, to get to answer sort of trivia about yourself. There's no wrong answers. Yeah. All right. So this is going to be asking, we started off asking about your current mood. This is going to encompass your mood over time. So the overarching question is, has there ever been a period of time when you are not your usual self and, okay? And then I'm going to read a number of statements and you're going to answer the question yes or no. So I'll repeat the full question for number 1 and I'll just carry on with the yes or no portion from that point forward. But if you need me to repeat the full question, please do let me know. Okay, so just yes or no. Has there ever been a period of time when you were not your usual self and you felt so good or so hyper that other people thought you were not your normal self? Or you were so hyper that you got into trouble? No? Okay. So has there ever been a period of time where you were not your usual self and you were so irritable that you shouted at people or started fights or arguments? Okay. You felt much more self-confident than usual? No? Okay. You got much less sleep than usual and found you didn't really miss it? Okay. You were much more talkative or spoke faster than normal? Normal for you? Okay. Thoughts raced through your head or you couldn't slow your mind down? Okay. You were so easily distracted by things around you that you had trouble concentrating or staying on task? Okay. How about you had much more energy than usual? Okay. You were much more active or did many more things than usual. Okay. Right, this isn't like a comparison to yourself before or anything. It's a period of time where, again, you were not your usual self. So if, let's say, a number of years ago you felt more active and you did more, that was still your normal state of being at that point in time. Okay, same answer. Okay. All right. How about you were much more social or outgoing than usual? For example, you telephoned friends in the middle of the night. Okay. You were much more interested in sexual intercourse than usual. Okay. You did things that were unusual for you or that other people might have thought were excessive, foolish, or risky. And you were on a medication when that happened? Do you remember which one? Okay. Just gonna make a note. Okay. One more. Spending money that got you or your family into trouble. No. Okay. All right. Since we had a couple there, have several of these ever happened during the same period of time? So, were the 2 things or 3 things that you reported here concurrent, or were they at different points in time? Okay. All right. And then we have just a little question with 4 answers, but it's not that complicated. How much of a problem did these things cause you? So being unable to work, having family or financial or legal problems, or getting into arguments or fights. And the answer here is either no problem, a minor problem, a moderate problem, or a serious problem. Okay, so minor. Okay. Good. That was the end all the questions that I have. I might ask you a few more, but they're just for the sort of outtake paperwork. Did you have any questions for me? Yeah, so all of this is now into our computer system. It is going to be printed, and then a physician will look it over and scale it based on whatever the test was sort of looking for. They're all almost subconscious type questions that when they come together, they can form a better picture of the sort of mental state, any changes in that mental state, things about your mood that might not be super obvious from just knowing you for a short period of time. It's important when trying to get a diagnosis or get treatment, get help, that you know and are aware that you know yourself better than any of the providers or any other person in the world for that matter. So it's important that we get your feelings, your truth, and what feels and has been real for you. And they will likely, depending on your results, but likely they'll have you come back at some point to do some other tests that are more sort of interactive rather than answering questions, you'll be maybe drawing things, hitting a button while watching something, or fitting shapes together. Yeah, and those give a better idea of sort of what's going on in your head, whether or not you know it. Oftentimes when people are showing signs of things like schizophrenia, they might not be able to report that. So self-reporting is very important to the process, but for certain mental health conditions, it's impossible for the patient to be able to know what's happening to themselves, if that makes sense. Yeah. Right. So definitely not saying that is your situation, but they usually like to bring everyone back just to test, because when put in conjunction with your self-reporting, it gives a really good overall picture. Okay. Great. Well, thank you for all of your honesty and for being patient. I know that was a lot, and I know you weren't really feeling up to it. One more time, we're going to go through your mood, if that's okay, and then I will release you. Okay. So if you remember, this is just at the moment. How do you feel? And the answers are not at all, a little, rather, or very much. Okay? Tired. Relaxed. Okay. Good. Willing to perform. Let's see. Sleepy. Okay, good. Nervous. Good. How about bored? Not at all. Okay. Restless. Good. Okay. Not at all. Depressed. All right. Downhearted. Okay. Cheerful. Okay. Indifferent. Okay. Energetic. Okay. Willing to show effort. Very much. In a good mood. Okay. Good. Fresh. Good. And calm. Okay, great. Alright. So, I think that I have everything here that I need. It looks like they actually do already have you booked for a follow-up, which is in 2 weeks. And that may be to discuss the results of what we're doing now. So if those results come back and they do want to do more testing before then, we'll give you a call or send you an email or a text. So what would you prefer? Yeah, we can do text and call if you want. Okay. Can you just give me a good contact number for that? Okay. Great. So I'll put you down for a text and call. So that would probably be a few days, in the off chance that they want to talk to you before that, or talk to you about the results that we just did and then do more testing. They will have that date for you at your next appointment. Yeah, it looks like it's the same time as our appointment now. Okay, that works for you. Good. And if you want, they can send you a reminder. Text, okay. Okay. And has your address changed? No? Okay. Are you working currently? Okay. And are you going to need assistance with transportation getting here? We do have a shuttle that goes door to door. Okay. Well, if it turns out that you do need that assistance, if your ride can't take you, shuttle you, then we can come and get you. You can just call the office anytime up to like the day before your appointment, and we will get you in. If this is your correct address, then we'll already have you in the system, and they'll just GPS on over, come get you. Okay. Great. Well, then we are good to go. Thank you again for bearing with me. If you need some time to just sit and relax, you're more than welcome to do that. There is a mini fridge here with some snacks and some drinks if you're feeling hungry or thirsty, have low blood sugar, anything that you need to take care of. There's a restroom in the back right if you need that as well. Okay. All right. Well, hopefully I will see you again at some point. It was a pleasure to work with you, and if not, I hope that everything goes well and you get all of the care and treatment that you are looking for.